Alright guys, here's what we're making today. The Retro Sling by Can Do Crafts. This is probably one of my absolute favorite bags. It's got a nice zipper pocket here, huge. Then you have a magnetic snap closure here, and you have a nice big pocket down here. You have a full inside with a nice big slip pocket. And then on the back, you have another full zipper pocket. All leather. Just stunning. The nice thing about this pocket is, that's where I keep my phone. I just slide my phone in and out of there. You could actually put a water bottle in, small water bottle in there if you wanted to. And then on the back, you have however you want to wear it on either side. You can do that as well. Thanks, guys. Let's get started. The Retro Sling by Can Do, all leather. Hi, everyone. This is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. I'm getting ready to do one of my favorite bags. And I'm doing it out of some new leather that I got from Weaver Leather Company. First time I ever bought anything from them, but it was really reasonably priced. It was a half a hide, or maybe a quarter, I don't remember, for $69, but I can get 2 bags out of it. So this is what I'm going to make, a retro style sling. And here is the leather. I've already skived it and it looks beautiful. Isn't that stunning? It's gorgeous. So I did skive it, and I skived a good 5/8 inch all the way around. This is pretty thick leather. Let me tell you exactly how many ounces it is. Yeah, this is 4-ounce leather that I skived to just under 2 ounces, which is perfect. So that is that's one piece, and then that's gonna be what I use for the lining. This is from Zipper Valley. Love her stuff. And so the whole outside is gonna be this leather. Hold please. All right, sorry, I was interrupted by a phone call. How rude. So I'm using this gray 1.5 inch webbing, and then I'm gonna make a fancy strap. I think I'm only gonna need 1 of these, but I cut 2 just in case. Silver hardware, and this is gonna be my zipper tape with silver teeth. And I think that's it. I may do this padded strap a little different, I think, because I did skive this, but I didn't skive it all the way. I may just do raw edge. I'll wait and see when I get there if I'm able to. I don't think I'm going to be able to turn it. That's my concern. So I think I'll just do raw edge and edge coat it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. This may be my new bag. I know. I say it all the time. I can't help it. So let's get started. The Retro Sling by Can Do Crafts. Hi, everybody. This is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. So I think you've seen the preamble, as they say. So this is the leather that I'm using, and I'm just going to put my little tag here. And I always do a 2.5 millimeter stitch length, and because that is what my friend at Heartwood and Hyde said works best. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to pull it to the back and tie it off. And I am using some of my new Tex 90 variegated thread. We'll see. I've never used it before. It's what I got, a sample pack from Yellowstone Leathers. It's very different than Kasaya's. It's soft. It's nylon thread, poly thread. But it's feels very different. So, we'll see. I don't know. So far, it's stitching beautifully, really. But this is the one of the variegated. It's very pretty. Even up my threads. It does fray a little bit. I will say that. So, that's why you get a sample pack. I think I got 12 variegated colors, 1,500 meters per spool. And they were all variegated. But it's a good way to sample thread. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Okay, so that is that. Next, I am going to do my back zipper. And because I'm using leather, this is just going to be raw edge here. I'm not going to do any fold over or anything like that. My phone fell over. So let me grab my pocket pieces. This is the front zipper pocket, okay? And I believe this is my zipper. Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna do, I'm not doing not interfacing, but the facing piece. Oops, let me go back up to 4.5. I'm just basting this on. Oops, I didn't put my needle down. Okay. Then I'm going to fold that back and stitch that flat. Then we're going to go up here. Even your sides and stitch this side. Baste it. Then I will cut my zipper pocket in two. So I want my zipper pocket going, the zipper going up. So I just put my zipper pull going up, and then I'm just cutting this in two. Then we'll baste this side flat. Okay, so that's what you should have. Now I'm going to put some double-sided tape. And I think I'm going to put the double-sided tape on here, on either side of my zipper opening. And like I said, I want my zipper going up. And I'm going to add this one side at a time and get it on there nice and even. Sometimes bigger zipper pulls just really get in the way, you know? They do. Perfect. Now I'm going to stitch all the way around that with my pocket flat. And I have my narrow foot on. And I'm going to pull that thread to the back too. This variegated thread looks really good. I was a little hesitant, but it looks good. Okay, let me, I'll just go all the way around. Beautiful. And end where you started. And pull those threads to the back. And there's one. And there's two. Even those up. Tie them off. Okay. Very nice. Now we're going to fold this down and clip it. And I'm going to even up my pocket. It's pretty good, actually. Oh my goodness, Barb. Okay. And we're going to stitch all the way around. I got pretty close over here, so we'll have to work on that. Okay, so what I mean is we got really close there, so yeah, I'm just gonna have have to do our best with that. I may have to change to my zipper foot. There we go. That's better. Okay, I got it. Clip your zippers, any excess, and then you're going to want to burn those. See, this side's pretty close too. Since we cut our zipper tape, we want to burn that. Okay, excellent. On the floor it goes. And there is our pocket. So that's what it looks like on the back. Yeah, let me fix that. Hold on. All right, I put my zipper foot on and I got a little closer, and I'm good with that. Looks really good. The thread is perfect. All right, so the next step is to work on our D-ring connectors, 2 D-ring connectors, and our, I don't know what she calls them, side connectors. So I skived both of these all the way around. I put the tape on where she instructs you to, and we're going to fold that down. On both sides. There's 2 of these. And there's 2 because depending on who purchases this or uses it will depend on how they wear it. So I'm going to do my D-ring connectors. I'm just going to stitch down each side. And I'll just do a little chain stitching. Okay. And then we'll add our D-rings. These are really big D-rings. I'm not sure where I got them. I don't carry silver hardware. I don't remember where I got these, but they're huge. That's fine. And I'm just going to base these down. Just so they don't move around on me. Then we are going to fold these just like this and put our D-ring inside. And actually, I'm going to cut a little bit. I'm going to cut just a little bit of this off. I kind of went rogue on my D-rings. I just kind of made them the size that I wanted. Okay, and then we're going to put them inside just like this. And we're going to stitch down this side and top stitch this side. I'm actually going to do all sides so that it stays together. Now mine's going to be pretty thick because I'm using leather. So, I mean, I skived all this, but even so, Okay, yeah, it's gonna be thick. Let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna come up this way and see how we do. Okay, and then we're going to come across. This is where it's going to be really thick. I'm just going to go slow. Thumper doesn't have any issues. He's a beautiful thing. All right, I'm just going to close this side. Perfect. It's not straight. Do you see that? My D-ring isn't straight. I can't have that. I can't have it, so I'm gonna take that out just along this edge. And because I'm using leather, we'll have to make sure that we go in the same holes. But I can't leave it like that. I just can't do it. It's crooked. Yeah, it's crooked, Barb. We must not have crooked D-ring connectors. You know, can't do it. I don't know about you guys, but I know most of you would not leave that either. Some things, you know, you can get away with, but not that. No. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to hold it in place right there. Better. Much better. And I just use the same holes. No one will ever know except for you guys. Okay. Little dog ear there. Let's just trim that. Oh, much better. Okay, let's do this one. We'll pay attention to that on this one. Okay, this one looks pretty good, actually. Perfect. Okay. That one came out perfect. Okay, so I have two of those. next? Oh, we're going to put them on. Now, I previously marked my piece where these go, and they go right here. Now, in the pattern, there's some controversy out there about this. She has them going down. I'm just going to do it down. I think I've done it both ways, and it honestly does not matter as long as you are consistent. Let me cut this off. So you guys won't be able to see my marks, but I have them marked where they go from the pattern. And I have templates that I got from, I'll link it in the description below. So we're just gonna base those on. So controversy, whether the D-ring goes down or up. In the pattern, it goes down. I'm okay with that. I've done both ways. Just gonna base those in place. Let's do this side. And you don't have to put two on. If you know which way you're going to wear it, just put one on. Totally up to you. Perfect. So I'm going to put some rivets right there, and I'm going to use one long rivet. So I'm going to get two of my, wide. I said they're wide and long, actually. Two wide, long rivets, and I'm just going to put them right there. I don't know if this will go through all those layers or not. Let me see. It might. We're only going through this piece, so I'm just going to center that up and put it right there. Oh, beautiful. I think it went through all the layers. I love it. It did. Wide double cap rivets with the long stem, and it's called a large stem on my website. I like them. Let's do this one. Center it up on the D-ring right there. Perfect. Okay. Press these. Let me get my tools. I am going to make just a bit of noise. You can actually pound those. They're very sturdy little rivets. Okay, here we go. Oops, I'm doing the wrong side. Perfect. Now, there's a few threads here. That I need to burn. I think they'll be hidden in the seam, but just in case they aren't. Perfect. There you go. This is hanging out just a little here. I'm gonna do a little tiny wider seam. Perfect. Perfect. All right. There you go. Next step. All right, so the next step is to do your inside slip pocket, and I just have 2 pieces of my lining that I'm clipping together, and I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance across the top, and then we're going to actually turn it, but I'm going to use a little of the leather for a trim. Turn those over, and I have my iron hot back here, so I'm just going to put a little heat on that. And I am going to baste that so it stays where I want it, just like that. Then we're going to put the trim on. Okay, then I have my 1 inch piece of trim, double side tape. Oops. And we're going to add that just shy of the line and fold that over. And I did skive this little 1 inch piece because this leather is pretty thick. And then we're going to just top stitch that. Just make sure you caught the back, which I did. Perfect. Then we're going to take our lining piece and we're going to add that just across the bottom and baste it in place. It's just a simple slip pocket. That's all it is. There's a lot, or there's 2 outside zipper pockets. There's an outside slip pocket. It's really all you need. But you could add more if you'd want. Okay, let's just baste that 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Let me make sure I caught it. Yep, I did. All right, I've got a little excess trim. I'm just going to cut that off on each side. And you just have a nice little slip pocket. Very cute. Next, now we're going to complete the back section by putting that piece that we just put the slip pocket on, wrong sides together with the pocket outside piece that we have the zipper on. Wrong sides together. All right, so now we're going to do our strap. So here is my slider up and through. And then I am going to add a piece of leather rather than double this over on here. And it's an 1.5 by 1.5 inches. I did not skype that. Then we're going to fold that down where I want it. Just like that. And I'm going to clip it on each side. And then we're going to sew that on. And I'm doing a box. Living dangerously. Yep. Okay, so I've done that, and now we're going to put our swivel on, up and through. And through the slider. And just make sure nothing is twisted. And that's where we stop for now for this, because we're going to add this end to our padded strap. All right, so we're going to set that aside. Next step. All right, so because this is leather, and I'm a little worried that I won't be able to turn it, I decided to just tape and fold in my edges rather than because even with vinyl or cork, this is really hard to turn. So I just decided I was going to go the easy route. I was going to leave it raw edge, and then I thought, I don't want to do that. So we're just going to fold it in by 1/4 inch. And I'm just using double-side tape. Now, when I get down to these curves, I'm just going to do my best to do the curves as nicely as I can. And I could clip them, but I don't really think I need to. Yeah, that side looks good. This side doesn't look as nice. There we go. Perfect. Now, I am going to use a piece of Bosal foam. And I am just going to, again, tape it in there. And then when I lay this on top, I'll be able to stitch around that. Much better option. This is a great option if you struggle turning small things like this, because it can be challenging. I think next time I do this out of vinyl or cork, I'm going to do this same thing, because I just struggle, and it kills my hands to try and turn it. It really is dependent on the material that you use. So And just get your corners as good as you can. That looks actually pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Now, on one of these, on the right side, we need to attach our strap with the slider wrong side up. So just like this. And we're going to attach that to the right side and do about, what does it say? A 1/4 inch. And it's the rounded side. Yeah, that's right. 1/4 inch, rounded side. I was like, and center it. Make sure it's nice and centered. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to add this wrong sides together. No. Oh, you know what? Hold please. Let me think this through. Because I'm not turning this right side out. Yeah. No worries. I'm going to take that out. And we're going to, because I'm not going to turn it. This method is if you turn it, Barb. Jack is seeing the light of day here. So we'll need to put this on the inside. Not a big deal. All right, let me get rid of my threads. You're seeing me make all my mistakes because I'm doing things kind of by the seat of my pants here. This is stuck on my tape. There we go. Okay, so now let me burn this end. Okay, so this is going to need to go, when we put these right sides, oh dear, I'm just throwing things everywhere. So these are going to go right sides together. I'm going to go ahead and clip these wrong sides together. Watch what I do, not what I say. Then we're going to stick that webbing right inside here. Perfect. So much easier. So much. Okay, so this will go in here like this. Doesn't need to be much, just a little. Again, you want to make sure it's nice and centered. Perfect. Let's leave Jack out just in case. Maybe ward off any needs for Jack. Okay, now we are going to stitch all the way around. I love it. And I'm doing it a pretty generous 1/8 inch. All the way around. I'm just trying to make sure I'm catching both sides. And if you don't, you can just do another row. Don't worry about it. Go slow around your corners. That looks good. I'm kind of surprising myself. Okay, let's see how we did. Oh my, that's the way to do these straps. Oh my gosh, that's just perfect. Now I am going to do another row around this edge just because I want to make sure that it's nice and caught. So I'm just going to do an extra row right around the edge. You don't really probably need to do that, but, and I think if I was going to do this again, I would turn it over by 3/8 of an inch, just to give myself a little leeway there. You know what I mean? That's fine. Whoops. Everything's falling on the floor. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. All right, let's burn those little threads. Perfect. So I did an extra row from about here around just to make sure I caught my corners, and I did. Looks really pretty good. All right. Beautiful. Now, next step. So the next step is to put your strap connector piece D right sides together, and I am going to do it this way for this one, Living Dangerously. And we're going to do the seam allowance in the pattern. And we're just doing the sides. See my needle, it has a little gummy on it, all the tape. Okay. So that's what you should have, right sides together. Now we're going to add this end right here, up and through to the short end. And you can add a D-ring there if you want to. I'm not. I'm going to use a magnetic snap for mine. So just like this. So that's the end that we didn't, that's the straight end. And you're just going to add that right to the edge and stitch across that at the seam allowance. And don't go past your stitches because we want to be able to trim that to get rid of some bulk. Okay, so just like that. Now we're going to trim these corners without trimming our threads as best you can. And down here at this corner. Without cutting your threads. Okay. So just like that. These two corners and these two corners. All right, let's see. This one's a little easier because it's so short to turn. It'll still be a challenge. You can pull on this, just be careful. Okay. See how hard that little piece was? That looks good though. Very good. Okay. Now we're gonna do some top stitching. Let me poke your corners out as best you can. This one's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Perfect. All right, now, let me decide if you're going to do the swivel clasp and the holder for this, you'd want to have that D-ring because that's what it clips onto. Now we're going to add this to the back, just like this, center. So I'm going to find the center of this little piece. And I did already find the center. It's a beautiful thing. And we're going to attach that. Let me get it so it's correct here. Hold on. Okay. So I always have to play with this a little. Which way do I want my hardware? So you want your hardware, your slider, wrong side up. Okay. And then we're going to just clip all that in place. Let me grab a clip here. And we're going to stitch across this. Just baste it in place. then that looks good. And you can go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and top stitch it. This will be hidden, so I'm not too worried about that. You could top stitch it before, which is probably easier to do. I'm going to crank it around these corners. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Burn any threads that you might have. Some of this, most of this will be hidden. Now I missed it right there, so I'm just going to go back over that. Right there. Perfect. You gotta be careful with leather. You gotta go in the same holes. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay. Perfect. Hold on. All right, so now we're gonna move on to the front zipper pocket. And again, this is just raw edge since I'm using leather. And I have my front zipper pocket. I just put some tape on it. My lining piece. Probably not a good idea. And we're going to add the zipper right side up, and I'm going to wait to put my zipper pull on. I'm going to pull that over and stitch it flat. Same thing here on this side. Match up your sides. And then I'll cut it in two. Funny noise. I think it might be my bobbin. We'll see. All right, let's cut that in two. Add our zipper pull. Oh, after I base this side closed. Held, please. Not closed, but okay. All right. Okay. Now I am going to add, my zipper's closing to the left. I'm going to take the tape off here. And we're going to add our pocket. Somebody's texting me. Perfect. All right, let's sew all the way around. I have my zipper fit on this time, so it'll be easier. I'm going to pull those threads to the back. Pull that thread to the back. And honestly, with this variegated thread, I probably don't need to do it because you can hardly even see it, really. Believe it or not. But, in fact, I'm going to just back stitch. Yeah, you can hardly even see it. I love it. Okay, perfect. All right, let's pull that down. And I knew I'd have extra here, and that's okay. I think I used the wrong zipper pocket. This one should have been the back, and I used it. I used the front and the back and the back and the front. That's okay. Happens. Let's close this off first. Oh, I ran out of bobbin. I knew it was sounding funny. Perfect. I have a bobbin ready to go. Okay. So far, this thread is really not bad. I don't really have any complaints, other than it does fray a little bit. It doesn't fray while you're stitching, so. Let me get over here so I can see how far I need to go. And then we'll cut off the excess. And what do we do when we cut our zipper tape? We burn our threads. I mean, we burn our zipper tape. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do that a little closer. So I don't want that in my seam. So I'm going to sew that just a little closer and trim it. On both sides. Yeah, I don't want that ending up in my binding, giving me more thickness than I need. Perfect. Let's do it on this side too. When you're binding a bag, you don't need any extra thickness. Yeah, perfect. Okay, I love it. Let's trim this just a little. Okay. You should see my floor. There's stuff everywhere. That is so nice. All right, next step. All right, so I'm doing a magnetic snap, and so because I'm using leather, I don't want to have to turn it. So I did a 3x3 piece, folded in the edges, and then I put, for my stabilizer for my magnetic snap, I put a piece of Decaville Heavy in there. Then I marked where my snap is gonna go. Just don't hurt yourself. Make your slits. And this side on here is going to be the male portion of the snap. And then I'm gonna add that, put that over there so I don't hurt myself. And then I'll cover that with a little piece of fleece. Just so it doesn't rub against the other part of my leather. Just like that. And there's my snap, the male portion. And then I'm gonna put these wrong sides together. And I'm gonna stitch up and down the side. I've got stuff everywhere. You know me, I don't like it. Here's the other part of my snap. I'll just put that right there for now. And let's just stitch that together. Then we'll add it to our top piece. And I'm going to stitch all 4 sides. Now we'll add it to our front piece here with the snap right side up, and we want to center this. Yeah, I have my center mark. You can't see it, but I can. Okay. Now we're just going to base that in place. Perfect. You could use a rivet magnetic snap. I just have some of these prong magnetic snaps that I need to use, so I decided to use them. So there you go. So when it comes and we put the other side snap, this will come up and snap on. Perfect. Now you're going to take your lining and you're going to put those right sides together. Clip those in place. And we're going to stitch just this top part. I'm going to move my zipper pull in the middle so I don't have any chance of it getting in the way. And this seam allowance is per the pattern. We're going to start over here, so up and across and back down. Everywhere, guys. Look at this. I can't stand it. Hold on. There's stuff everywhere. Okay, let's trim that up. I'm going to trim it on these top corners. Don't trim where your snap is. And then here we are going to trim, I'm just going to trim all the way around. About half. Okay. Then we're going to pull that through. And top stitch. You can pull this, just be a little judicious. Poke out your corners as good as you can. Perfect. And then I just clip it until I can top stitch it. That looks really good. Man, I'm actually even liking it myself. You know what I'm gonna say. This might be my new bag. I'm just kidding. I have one. I have a retro sling that I use all the time. It's pink. Mm-hmm. Okay, now let me just make sure, yeah. And we're gonna top stitch from here and around. It's pretty thick in these corners, so just go slow. Very nice. Then you have a fully lined zipper pocket here too, which is pretty good size. Okay, now we're going to take the piece, let me see, H. Piece H, which you have a lining piece and you have a back piece, and we're going to put those right sides together. Wait. And lie flat, wrong side, facing up, using. Yeah. Yep. Wrong sides together. Yeah, based all the way around. I keep forgetting this is a bound bag. 1/8 of an inch. Make sure I caught it. Yeah, there's a spot there, but that's okay. Now we're going to take this front and we're going to match up the bottoms. The front piece is slightly larger for a reason. And we're going to match those sides. Gives you a little bit of a pouch there. And I use this pouch for my phone. That's where I put my phone. So I can have easy access in and out of it. So bring these sides in to match. There's a marking on the pattern where that should be. And then we'll just baste all the way around that. So it gives you just that little bit of a pouch, and we're going to baste it around. Perfect. Okay, now if there's any hangover, which I have just a hair, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off right now. Very little, actually. I'm just putting it all on the floor. I'm going to have to vacuum anyway, so. Now there's a little lining up here. Look at that. You guys. I love it. All right, now we need to do this piece. This is our, what does she call this? Upper front. Let's grab our zipper. So we need a okay, let's see, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15. All right, let's go ahead and add our zipper pull. Beautiful. Okay. So on the exterior, on the inside here, just make sure I skived it good enough. Yeah. We're going to put our zipper right side down. And I'm going to use some tape. Let's use some tape. 1/8 inch tape. Oops, I'm almost out. Let's add some 1/8 inch tape all the way around. And we're going to add our zipper. Right side down with the zipper closing to this side, and we're starting over here. We're just going to add that nice and even. And if you need to clip it around the corners, feel free. This is where I probably would use 1/4 inch. I'm going to put a little clip on the end here. Double side tape. I didn't, but I probably would next time. So the zipper's right side down with the pattern piece right side up. Okay, we're going to baste that on. 1/8 of an inch. Nope, a little different. 1/4 of an inch. Slide around your curves. You can separate this. That probably would be helpful, Barb. didn't stick for some reason. Perfect. Okay. Looks good. Now take your lining and I'm going to go ahead and just use 1/8 inch. I'm living dangerously. Trying to use this up. And we're going to add our lining piece right on top here. This looks harder than it is. It's really not hard at all. So don't be dissuaded from this pattern because of this, because it's really not bad. Take the paper off and add your lining. And you have center marks, and they're matching perfectly, actually. Okay, and so the full seam allowance. Okay. All right. Easy. Very easy. Just gotta take your time. Okay. Now we are gonna put those right sides together. I don't usually clip this because I will not clip zipper teeth or tape. And I skive this enough that it's gonna be fine. And then we're gonna put wrong sides together and top stitch. And then baste all the way around. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, I'm going to top stitch next to the zipper first. And then I'll baste the other. I'm just pulling it taut. Not too tight. And that's baste the rest of it. Now I have a little extra lining over here. I'll just trim it off. I have no idea why. I'm sure it was a cutout error on my part. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh. No big deal. I took my zipper pull all the way off. So let's put it back on. It's okay. I left a little extra zipper tape just for that very reason. Okay. So this is going to be the top. So I want my zipper closing to the left. So that's why I have it going on that way. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so nice. All right, next step. All right, so I forgot to put my snap on, so I had to just open up a little hole here to put the other part of my snap. Not a big deal. And I am going to use another piece of Decaville Heavy. Attach my washer. And add a piece of fleece. I'm so used to using rivet magnetic snaps that this is kind of such a foreign thing to me that to remember to do it. Not a big deal. All right, let's get rid of some of our sharps here. Danger. Little sharp. And let's stitch that back together. Okay. Beautiful. So that's the other part of your snap. And that's what I'm using rather than a swivel. All right. Next step. All right, so we're going to take the bottom gusset. We're going to lay that right sides together here. On both ends. And it never, for this particular one, for some reason, it never matches up. So just do your best. Okay, and that's what I mean. It doesn't match up right here. That's fine. All right, we're gonna sew that together. And to see that's in the pattern. Do I have a zipper pull in there? Yes, I do. Had a moment there. Okay, we'll trim that so it's even. And repeat that on this side. I'm going to do it from this side. Okay. Let's trim off our zipper tape. And then I'm going to just ease this in. I don't really want to decrease my gusset width because I like that gusset width. So we're just going to ease that in. So when I say ease that in, that's what I mean here. Just ease it in on both sides. Then we're going to do the same thing with our lining. And I'm just going to go right over my previous stitch line. And I am getting the corners out so that there's not as much bulk there. And same thing on this end. Okay, let's turn it right side out and we'll top stitch. So pretty. Okay. So if your lining doesn't match either, just trim it. The lining wasn't as bad, so I don't know. And let's just baste that closed and top stitch. Sounds like my bobbin's going in. Okay. Perfect. A little trim over here. And here. All right. Next step. All right, so take your gusset, lay it lining side out. Take your front piece, tuck your flap down inside there, and just to really keep it out of the way. And then we're gonna lay that centered right on top and clip that all the way around. Now you should have gusset markings too. And this is the side that is next to the zipper tape. And clip that all the way around. And it really fits pretty good. I don't remember if I had to clip this bottom corner. We'll have to see. Gussets match. It might be helpful to undo the zipper tape. This isn't quite matching over here. So I'm gonna have to see how I did that over there. That looks pretty good. I'm going to clip my gusset on these bottom corners. just half your seam allowance. And then it fits pretty good. Lots of flips. Please. All right, we are going to sew that together with the seam allowance, and I do it with the gusset up. Okay, so we are going to bind this side before we do the other side. And I am going to zip this up. Until I get it on here. You do have to be a little careful when you're binding around zipper tape. And what I mean by that is you just really can't get too close to the teeth. Otherwise, the binding will catch in your teeth for obvious reasons. But I say that because I have done it and it's very annoying. So just beware. I have very little of this left. I hope I actually have enough to finish the bag. We'll see. Okay. bind this side. Making sure my zipper hole is out of the way. I actually really like this Tex 90. I'm not switching from Tex 70 to Tex 90, but when I use leather, I might use Tex 90. All right, let's see how we did. If we caught the other side. Caught it all the way around. It's a beautiful thing. Caught it. Okay. Next step. All right, so the next step is to attach the other side. So find your centers and attach all those. So on the top and the bottom, and your strap is in there. It's kind of a pain to keep out of the way, but it works. All right, let's do it. All right, let's turn it. Let me change the camera up here so you can see the struggle, because it's real. All right, let's do it. This will be interesting. And I'm just really going to take my time because I don't want to pull anything. I don't think I would. But you know, sometimes when things are hard to turn, you end up pulling things that you don't intend to. Oh my gosh, you guys, that really was not as hard as I thought it might be. I'm just checking to make sure. Oh my gosh, you guys. There's a little thread right here. Okay. You guys. This turned out so much better than I anticipated, I do have to say. There's a little tape on there. Oh my gosh. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. I'll put it on. Let me see. Let's see. Do I want it on this side? How do I wear this? Not this side. Like this. You guys, I love it. Look how good that looks. It matches my shirt today. And I did not plan that. So this is where I put my phone so I can easily get in and out without unhooking this every time. And then you open that up and you have a full inside, plenty big for a water bottle or anything really that you need. And then back here, you have a full zipper pocket. Huge. Passport, wallet. Isn't that stunning? The retro sling by Can Do. I love it. I just love it. all leather. This is leather from Weaver Leather Company. And it's very nice. The one thing I will caution you is if you put double-sided tape on the leather itself, some of the metallic comes off, and you don't want to do that. But other than that, the leather it skives beautifully. It sews beautifully. I'm just taking a gander. It's just so pretty. The Retro Sling by Can Do. And this is all leather on the outside. Very nice. Very nice. Thanks for watching, guys. This one will be for sale on my website. Maybe. I might actually end up just keeping it for myself. I haven't quite decided. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.